Well, hello there, and this is Auntie, and I am here to do our final review on 90 Day Fiance Season 2, Episode 13, Tell All Part 2. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you so much for being here. And to all of my nieces and nephews who have been with me for the long haul, thank you so much for your continued support. Yes, today y'all have got to deal with Auntie with a wig on. Because I took all of my braids out and I can't get it done until tomorrow because of all the snow. The DMV area was hit. Thank you so much for the super chat. The DMV area was hit with, I think, about 8 to 10 inches of snow today. And so your auntie couldn't get out. So the next best thing to do was to put on a wig. Of course, today I have on my fatigues. And I am ready to get this over with. Okay? This is our final review of this show. Tomorrow I'll be doing a open call. You all can call in and we will discuss the show in further detail. I'll be opening up the phone lines, and hopefully you all will be here with me so that we can wrap this crazy ass season up. If I had to rate tonight's episode, I would absolutely rate this episode a B. I thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Thank you. I will rate it a B. I think that TLC went out with something new. And I liked it at the end. So without further ado, let's get into this. We started this particular episode off the way that we left off last week with the couples, basically leaving out stage left on Colt and Larissa. Larissa was very hyped up, very angry, and so was the cast. What we did not know last week that we found out this week is that the couples had actually been filming for 12 hours. And so now we can understand, or at least I can understand, the frustration that they had that Colt and Larissa had come to the reunion so late. Although it looks like they tried to cover for the cast last week, this week, at the end, and we'll go over that, they basically threw their asses under the bus. And so it just further goes to say that TLC and Sharp Entertainment will do anything for drama and some ratings, okay? Yes, they will. So basically, we see the cast, walking off the stage, and then we see them in the back room. And basically, Asuelu is basically leading the charge. He's the one that's back there cursing and talking about them. And, Kalani talks about how she has never seen him in this kind of thing. This kind of rage. He went from 1 to 365. And I'm thinking, no, he went from 1 to spazzing the hell out and basically, showing, some kind of, I'm trying to be nice tonight. um, but basically, Asuelu, was cursing and saying that she needed to shut the f up, and this was some BS, and he basically wanted to backhand somebody. And I'm saying, this is coming out of the mouth of a man. Fernanda at this point is afraid because she had a grown woman to step to her little girl. The little girl that's inside of her. And, basically, Jonathan tried to stay out on the couch and try to resolve the issue with Cole and Larissa. But at that point, there was no need to try to solve the issue. What he needed to do was go back there and babysit Fernanda. Okay? So you know, basically, Jay and Ashley, was going back and forth. 1 minute they're together, the next minute they're not. And this is really just getting to the point where it's getting old. It's really started getting old. And so, they're all back there basically talking about Larissa and complaining about everything. And so I'm just like, I don't know why they did not tell them that they were having problems with their flight. I don't. It seemed like TLC was kind of edging the frustration on, because they could have very easily. Thank you so much for the super chat. They could have very easily had explained that they had some delays in their flight, and because you know of the incident that happened between the two of them, they were, going to be able to get there on time. And so I could not understand, well, no, I understand. It's just for the drama of it all. Everybody's all agitated and everything. The only thing that they look like they had for lunch was pizza. So I could understand after 12 hours sitting in the studio talking about things over and over, those things that got left on the editor's floor, I could understand their frustration. But what I could not understand is the things that were coming out of the mouth of men. It's really, difficult to watch men talk about women in such a way that Asuelu and Jay did. Ashley was throwing out her little shade, but I could not help from keep looking at her butt cheeks, because the dress that she had on looked like it was a boo-boo stain in the back. And so, my eyes kept wanting her to get up, and my eyes kept wanting her to turn that ass around so I could see if she had, some kind of stain on the back of her dress. I think that was a poor dress for her to wear, you know what I'm saying? Because I lost focus for a while, and I had to end up going back and I had to end up going back and kind of, catching up to some of the things they were saying, because I kept getting distracted by that, that slash down the back of her ass. And I'm saying, if you're going to buy one of those dresses, buy a legit one, Ashley, you know what I'm saying? So that it could, thank you so much for the super chat. So it could maintain, you understand what I'm saying? I need to maintain in the membrane. And I just was like, okay, is that something on her ass? You know what I'm saying? I'm basically yelling across the house. Is something on her ass? You understand what I'm saying? So basically, at the end of the day, Cole and Larissa was sitting out there with John, and John was trying to explain the fact that, she meant well, that when she had made a comment on her on her Instagram page, that she was talking on behalf of everybody else. And Cole and Larissa weren't going for it, because, Larissa was like, basically, my whole thing is, I was already going through a bad situation, and I wanted to make light of it. I didn't want to sit in the house and be depressed about it and keep dwelling on it. So I wanted to make light of it. And then for her to say something on my Instagram page was, for me, I felt like was being phony, because she's never reached out to me before. And so at that point, John was frustrated, and so was the host, because basically Larissa wasn't getting it. Larissa wanted to say what she wanted to say, and that was just it. You understand what I'm saying? And she's so hostile that you can't really get your point across. So, for the whole crew to walk off the way that they did, I thought that was very childish and immature. I thought that Fernanda started the fight, in my opinion, because when Robin asked her, or Sean asked her, how do you feel about this? Basically she was like, I think it was better without her. She's jealous of me. And so of course, if from woman to woman, if you say that I'm jealous of you, it's gonna be on and popping, because what reason would I have to be jealous of a little girl? I mean, basically you basically a Barbie doll, okay? Your head, your arms, your breasts, and everything are replaceable and expandable. So, basically this man built you into what you are today, okay? Everything that you sitting up there, you know what I'm saying? I digress, because I don't want to body shame her or anything like that. I mean, because if you can make improvements on your body, by all means make improvements on your body. But at the same time, don't sit there and say somebody is jealous. And when she walked off the stage, basically, Larissa told her, get an ass too. You know what I'm saying? And while you getting the breast, you might as well get an ass. You understand what I'm saying? And so basically, Ashley steps up and says, she doesn't want to sit beside her. That her mouth is too big and everything. And if she says the wrong thing, she's gonna backhand her or whatever. Trying to allude to the fact that she wanted to put them paws on somebody and was like, I'm gonna watch them deport her out. But you know what? Before they deport me, I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna wear you out, Ashley. And so I just felt like they were all teaming up on them, whether it be right or whether it was wrong, whether it was justified or not. That is what we basically saw them do. So Ashley says, okay, well, we're going to try to go back out there one more time. And so they go back out on the stage and everything. And Larissa has basically calmed down because Colty, has basically talked to her. Sean tried to talk to her and tell her, what was intended by, but Larissa wasn't having it. She wasn't understanding. And now I understand, even though, I've been in contact with Larissa, as you all know, Larissa reached out to me and let me know that she was okay and everything. And I just feel like Larissa, I see why Larissa and Colty got into the incidents that they did, because once she gets to that level where she's at a stage 10, she doesn't know how to come back down, and she doesn't know how to calm herself, and she feels like she's right and justified about what she's doing, and really at the end of the day, she really isn't. She really needs to calm her ass down. I mean, Larissa, you got to calm down. And I know you out here tonight. God bless you. But I'm telling you right now, you've got to calm yourself down, because just acting like that, it's just, okay, anyway. So basically the rest of the cast come out on the seat and everything. And so they make a decision that they're going to go ahead on and move on to something else. And so they move on and they start talking about Lita and Eric. And I just thought that this was just absolutely sickening. They went back and they showed clips of what had transpired between Lita and Eric. And so basically Eric was saying that he doesn't want to have a relationship with Tasha unless Tasha apologizes. So they bring Tasha on the screen. And I thought that it just was horrible, because the host should have really made sure that this was a real true communication between Eric, hold Eric accountable for his stuff, and she did not do that. And so basically, they started talking about the issues and everything. And so Eric was like, she's an adult, and I haven't been able to depend on her for anything. And so, Steven stepped up and was like, they all were like, what? Why? You are the father. She should be depending on you. And he's saying, well, no, she's an adult. And so, I need to be dependent on her. Well, you did, mofo. You living in her apartment. And so basically, he wants her to make an apology. He says that he doesn't want a relationship with Tasha until Tasha owns up and fesses to that was her mess. But if you look back at the camera, you can see that there was a futon there with no mattress on it. That's the mattress that they took off the bed for Alessandro to be there. And, for him to sleep on the side of the twin bed that they have on, outside of the air mattress that's in it. I mean, what do you want from Tasha? So basically, Tasha was saying that, some of the stuff that was in her room, it was indeed her, her mess, but that truly she had bags there she was trying to pack. They had taken the mattress off of her futon and they were using that. And basically, Lita had basically tore the room up. And so, they go back and forth and they're fussing about whether or not you called me a name first or I called you a name first. And I'm saying, you're saying that you want Tasha to act like a grown adult, but still and yet your wife is arguing back and forth with her like a child. The things that they were arguing about are really insignificant and dumb. Eric, at the end of the day, has put this woman before his child, and he doesn't want to take ownership for it. He wants to say that these are consequences and that this is tough love towards his daughter. And I'm saying, well, where's the tough love towards Lita? You understand what I'm saying? He's saying that she doesn't have respect for Lita. Well, why would she have respect for Lita when Lita is talking to her and stooping to her level? They talked about, basically the door, whether or not the door of the room was closed or wasn't closed. Tasha mentioned that there was a latch on the door and that Lita had promised that she would not go into the room. And so now Eric makes up an excuse and says, well, I've seen your door pop open before. They wanted Tasha to to agree to keep the room clean. Lita still believes that Tasha did this because Tasha basically wanted to get at her about something. If the girl is dirty, the girl dirty. If her father's dirty, her father's dirty. They all, I mean, come on, everybody's dirty. And so if you don't hold on to your end of the deal, why should Tasha have to hold on to her end of the deal? And so, we see a very emotional exchange between Eric and Tasha. And, it's just, it was all just fake as far as I was concerned. Because at the end of the day, when Sean asked him if he loved his daughter, he basically said, yeah, I love her. She said, well, can you tell your daughter that you love her? And then he says, well, Tasha, I love you, but. Anytime you use the word but, it cancels out the previous clause. It cancels out the previous sentence. It cancels out the previous words that you were using. But has now canceled that out. And he says, but these are hard lessons that you need to learn. But what about the lessons you need to learn? See, Stephen basically told him, you did ass wrong, because this is the same thing that I went through with my mother. I don't have a family. Kalani said at one point you want her to be grown, and then on the other part, you don't. You want her to be a grown adult woman and handle herself in a grown manner. If she is a grown up, then her room can be any way that she wants it to be. But then on the other side, you want to treat her like a child and say that she needs to keep the room clean. Which one is it going to be? And I absolutely agree. Ashley said, Stephen asked Eric a very poignant question. He said, did you hear Lita when she called your daughter a bitch? And Eric, kind of skirted around it, and then he had to basically admit that he did hear Lita call his daughter a bitch. And so Ashley and other people that were sitting there were like, if you had called my daughter a bitch, it would have been a problem. You daggone right it would have been a problem. I'm bringing some man into my life, and he's going to sit there and call my daughter a bitch. Are you crazy, bitch? You understand what I'm saying? Like that's straight up getting a butcher knife out the out the drawer for you to come in and be disrespectful to not only me but to my child. Because if you disrespect my child, you disrespect me. My child is a part of me, will always be a part of me. Okay, now he's going to say that, when she's 18 years old, because she's 20 years old, that she's grown. And Stephen is saying, no, you don't grow up until you're 25, 30 years old. Well, you know what? Even though you're 18 and 20 years old, you're still not absolutely legal, because you can't buy alcohol, you can't buy beer, you can't get into the club. So really, you're just a young adult, like Steven said. Now, I don't know about the 30 thing. I think at 30 you start maturing and looking back in your 20s and saying, I could have done this or I could have done that. But I think that the things that Eric is, for him as a dad to say, basically, I can't rely on her for anything, is just a complete and total, like he's not going to get the Father of the Year award. He absolutely is not going to get the Father of the Year award. He's not. So the next couple, they start talking about is Larissa, and they basically talk about Larissa and Colty, and they flash back over the things that, happened in their relationship, with the two of them. And so they basically, they both, Sean asks them, about the legal things that they're going through, and they're saying that they can't talk about it. They've had some difficulties and everything. It's a miracle that their asses are there, and basically they can't talk about it. And we kind of figured that they would not talk about it, even though we really wanted their asses to talk about it. I know I did. I wanted them to go further into detail, but I understand from Larissa that they can't do that because a lot of that stuff is going to be coming out on the tell-all that's going to be happening in spring of this year. And so basically, they can't talk about that. And so they move on and start talking about, the relationship between Larissa and Miss Debbie. And so the cast, Fernanda, this is her golden opportunity for her to have something else to say to her golden opportunity for her to have something to say to Larissa. And so basically, they showed the dissension between Debbie and the dissension between Larissa. And, Fernanda says, well, basically, that's his mother. You have to have respect for his mother, and, so on and so forth. And Debbie said, basically, so Larissa says that, she wants to be the queen in the house. Brazilian women want to come into the house. They want to be clean up. They want to take care of their man. They want to, serve it on a platter and all of that kind of stuff. And so John, makes a side comment and says, but she doesn't cook for him. Bitch, that's none of your business. What is she cooking? What is your little teenage, okay, Ninja Turtle? I mean, your little, what is Barbie cooking? Okay? What's Barbie cooking? And so basically, he makes that little comment, and Colt and everybody, they kind of brush over it and everything. And so Larissa says, I want to be the queen of the castle, but then there was another queen there. And so Debbie says, I'm not the replacement. I'm his mother. She is his wife. And basically, I'm going to be looking for me a place to stay. Colt almost fell out. I think that Colt, his spirit left his body temporarily and came back in when his mother said that. He was completely devastated at the fact that Debbie announced that. And so, Sean says, well, Colt and Larissa, did y'all know that? They didn't know. So Colt was like, I basically want her to stay in the house with us. I want us, all three of us, to get along and, to be one big happy family. Well, how's that working out, Colt? Okay, that's not working out at all. And so, again, we hear Fernanda talk about, how, they need to be respectful. She needs to be respectful of the mother, and how she was disrespectful of Miss Debbie. And then they go into a segment where they talk about John. And she says that, she thought that her and John had a misunderstanding. But looking at the clips from the show, she realizes that John really doesn't like her ass. And he really doesn't. She said that, he kept saying that you're here to take my cousin's money. And she was like, what money? She said that, he's not poor, but the bitch ain't rich either, okay? So a lot of the things that that Larissa and Cole have been going through on Instagram lately, she basically, there's a site that's called Cameo where you can take pictures and different things with the cast of 90 Day Fiance. Larissa puts out a receipt on Instagram that shows that Colty made $30,000 on Cameo. And so basically she hasn't seen any of the money. Colty put out a clip basically saying that Larissa, he took care of her. He had boxes stacked up in the corner and bags and all of that kind of stuff. And he had said that he had been taking care of her. He provided her clothes and all of that kind of stuff. And he had been taking care of her. And I'm saying, okay, but that's what you're supposed to do, Colty. If you bring her in from another country, she doesn't have a job, and, or anything like that, basically, I mean, this is what you do. This is what a man do. So you've been keeping receipts and everything so you could write her off on your taxes. I mean, I don't understand. So basically that, they've been going back and forth on Instagram because she showed like $5 shirts, $3 shirts, a couple of dresses that was like $19.99. I guess they was from Fashion Nova, whomever. And she basically was saying, he hasn't brought me anything of any value. And so basically she's alleging that she only received $1,000 of the $30,000 that Colty made. As you all know, on January 11th of 2019, Colty filed for divorce from Larissa. So we'll see what, how all of that plays out and everything. Larissa, hopefully we will be able to get together this week. Maybe tomorrow we'll get together and we'll be able to come out here and do an interview because she's very interested in telling her story. And I think that you all are very interested in hearing it. And Colty, again, the extension is given to you as well. If you would like to come out and give your side of the story, Auntie is more than willing and able to do that for you. And, let's go ahead and make it do what it do. So then we go into the segment with Ashley, and I was really disappointed with Ashley, because I thought that she really hit the bottom of the barrel today by calling Natalie a "see you next Tuesday," and that's what I did not like. I just was like, girl, are you serious? When you have to come out and make all kinds of call people names and do all kinds of stuff and spill your own tea allegedly, then your story isn't together. Today she put a clip up on John Yates' page, of course. She's gonna always go to John and basically say that she's in the hospital with having kidney failure. And so, basically I had already gotten a telephone call. Um, I got a telephone call indicating that, people were shocked to see the post because they had just saw her out in the streets today. And so I was like, okay, but do you have any receipts? Do you have any pictures or anything that you can send me to show that she had been out in the street? Not because, I don't know. I found myself in the middle of this because it's like if you're frauding the fans, you already knew how you were going to be looking on the tell-all. And just hours before the tell-all, coincidentally, you send out something now that, you're in the hospital. And then I get a telephone call probably not even 5 minutes after this post is put out there that they done seen you in the streets. I mean, which one is it? Did you fall out? Did they find you unresponsive in the Starbucks? Or, I'm just saying allegedly. Just help Auntie understand what is going on. And so, basically, Natalie, hey, after you saw the live today, being called to see you next Tuesday, if you want to bring that ass out here and you want to go head on and, what I'm saying, clear the record up, finally, you're more than welcome to do that as well. Natalie and Jay, if you want to come out and clear it up, you could do that as well. So anyway, let me go on back to the review. So basically, they talking about the relationship, between Jay and Ashley, and they show, the thing is, so he's still trying to make an excuse for what he had done on Tinder. And Ashley is saying, I don't want to be with him or anything. I basically, haven't signed the paperwork over for him. She's really embarrassed because she's still with this man, and she knows that she's not going anywhere, and she knows that he's not going anywhere unless the police put his ass out. And so this woman is trying to do, I'm trying to fix it all up. But at this point, it's absolutely too late for her to fix any of this up for us. It is what it is. We see her for who she is. And Ashley, bye. You got so much to say. Thank you so much for the super chat. You have so much to say about everybody else, but you need to fix your own little stuff. And then, she wants to act like she's angry with Jay at one moment, and then at the other next moment, they got their arms around each other. And I'm just saying, Ashley, come on with the bull crap. I mean, if she's in the hospital and she is suffering from lupus again, you know what? My prayers and my thoughts go out to her. But you know what? I really just find it really hard to believe that this girl, okay. And so basically, Jay wants to hold on to her because he wants to get, he wants to stay here in the United States. He talks about, basically nothing. Um, he doesn't really talk about anything because he's just saying the same thing over and over, and so is she. I mean, this relationship is over and it's done. So we see at the end of this tell-all that John and Fernanda have split. Okay, and then they mentioned that Larissa was arrested again. But since that taping, Larissa has been arrested again. And now she's staying with a friend and trying to pick up the pieces of her life. And I'm just like, okay, Larissa, let's pick them up. So now we go into a different segment that they basically sat the couples down after the show. And they wanted to talk to the couples about Colt and Larissa. I thought it was shady as I don't know what, but I was so here for it. I thought it was very interesting the way that they twisted it. And so basically, they set all the couples down and showed them the clip of what Colt and Larissa was saying in the taxi ride to the studio. And so basically, Colt and Larissa was saying that John and Fernanda had a problem. Well, no, wait a minute. They had Jay and Ashley going back to the hotel room. They were going back to the hotel room after the taping, and he was sitting in the car still trying to make excuses for being on Tinder. Tinder, he says, means friend. He didn't know that women was going to try to holler at him and try to get a hookup with them. And so basically, Ashley is saying, I just wish that you would stop trying to defend yourself. And, don't side eye me. Then we see Cole and Larissa at the hotel. And they talk about how they felt attacked by everybody. And, basically Colty is telling Larissa, if the worst comes, okay, the worst comes, you're going to be deported. Larissa says she's deadly afraid of that. And I know she is. Because she's got some things that she needs to answer for in Brazil. Okay? Just because it's out of sight doesn't mean you don't have to still pay for it. Okay? It may be out of sight and it may be out of mind, but you got to pay for it. Especially the way that you did it. You came over here and you left your babies. And I told you from day A, you're going to pay for losing and leaving your babies like that. You understand what I'm saying, Larissa? I like you and everything. But Auntie ain't going to cut you no slack because I like you. All right? You are going to have to pay for what you did to your kids. Point blank. And so all the stuff that you're going through, all the things that you did, like Jay said, all the work that he put into this relationship, all the work he did, now it's going up in smoke. And Ashley was like, all the work that you did. She says, I put time, money, and trust in this man. And he basically probably over here for the green card. When she sat there at the tell-all and she talked about Natalie, after she called her a see you next Tuesday, and she talked about Natalie, she said that Natalie didn't have a crystal ball. I'd be goddamn if she didn't. She says that the allegations that Natalie made against Jay was not things that happened before. But hold up, though. The night, okay, let's clear this up, Ashley, because you know what, I forgot, but Auntie, a little bird just whispered in my ear past my wig. Now, before all of this happened, let me just say this real quick, and then we're going to go back. I promise y'all I'm not going to belabor y'all long. Before all of this stuff happened, before the show hit the air, these things were going on, okay? Remember, they're taping this before we see it. So Natalie and Ashley had this friendship, okay? Yes, they were going back and forth with the stuff that we saw on television. But for the most part, they were still trying to keep their friendship connected. As you all saw, saw Natalie in front of a Vegas sign after she had gotten engaged to her boyfriend, Christian. Okay? They're now engaged and will be married in November. And I will be taking one of you all, one of my lucky nieces and nephews with me to the wedding. Okay? So basically, they were still talking to one another, even though there was a whole bunch of drama that was going on in the relationship. And I'll let Natalie come out here and tell y'all what really went down, what really hit the editor's floor, okay? So basically, when Jay was when the night that Ashley found out that Jay was cheating on her or on Tinder, Allegedly, she went over to the Natalie's house to tell Natalie that the mofo was cheating. Receipts. Receipts. She went over there to tell her, but then you sit there on the television and you call a girl and see you next Tuesday and talk about how much the girl lies when I got receipts that say you're the liar. You the one that's telling the lie. And so you mad at Natalie because basically Natalie is like, you spilled your own tea, Ashley, via John Yates. Everything and anything you wanted us to know that had a little twist, a little lemon twist on it, you made sure you dumped that trash over to John Yates so John Yates can send it out because he has all of these followers on Instagram. But guess what, boo? The gig is up. We see what the hell you're doing, all right? So you're going to sit on there and say that Natalie didn't know. So Sean was like, well, wait a minute, hold on. Wasn't Natalie right though? Didn't he did cheat on you on the tender? God damn, I can't tell if it's on the tender, in the tender, with the tender, by the tender, beside the tender, what the tender. I mean, it's just tender. So Natalie knew something. You're going to try to say, well, Natalie didn't live in Jamaica and she didn't know patois or whatever the hell it is. She didn't have to. She rubbed up on her breast and she found out that the mofo, okay? It don't take nothing but a phone call and a couple of text messages to prove that somebody cheating. She don't have to live in Jamaica. She don't have to talk patois or whatever it is. She don't have to do none of that. All she got to do is have her phone connected. That's all. And Natalie was right. But you, the one after the show came on and you start trying to do damage control, then you wanted to throw Natalie all under the bus. And so that's why you all have been confused about what you're seeing and what you heard. But you're going to sit up there and call the girl, see you next Tuesday. Why you so mad? If what Natalie is saying isn't the truth, why are you mad? Why are you mad? And I said last week, I got so many receipts on your ass, I need to file on my 2018 taxes. So you sitting up here, you done threw the girl under the bus. You coming out with your own stories because you're so scared that the story's going to come out. You say that Natalie went to the tabloids, but you ain't providing no receipts that Natalie went to the tabloid. Where the receipts? Where's the receipts? I'll wait. So after the show aired and the stuff started popping out with the tabloid, that's when you all started seeing the beef between Natalie and Ashley and Jay. Jay drew first blood when he came out with that article to say that she had allegedly went to the tabloid, but he don't have no receipts about it. And so in a court of public opinion, Natalie ain't able to fix that crap up. So anyway, basically, he put in the work. So we see Cole and Larissa, and they're in the room and everything, and they're talking about, what they have gone through and everything. And so, basically, Colty is like, I got problems in my relationship with my wife. My wife a little cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. And basically, she said she got problems with him. As you all listened to the review that I did the other day, and I let you hear some of the conversation between Larissa and I, yes, she does battle with depression. That does not mean that she's schizophrenic or she's crazy or anything or has mental illness. There come times in everybody's life when you may battle with depression or anxiety, and you may just need a little bit of pill. You know what I'm saying? A little orange one, a green one, a purple one, a red one, a green one, a blue one, or whatever. I don't, but you know what? That's to each his own. She needed them. Then we see John and Fernanda, and basically Fernanda says, that the casting told her that not only was Colt and Larissa delayed because of their flight, but they were delayed because Larissa needed dresses. But see, that's what I'm saying. Look at that shady ass staff that's keeping all of that going. Okay? A+ to the staff that's keeping all of that going. So basically, So basically, we see them showing the cast, what's going on. And Steven, for one time in his life, talks intelligently. I don't know if y'all thought that he talked intelligently, but I really did. Steven basically, was wrapping it up in a nutshell and was like, Fernandez saying that the girl, first he said that, Larissa threw first blood, that she came out there and she was acting like a butthole. So did Asuelu. Asuelu said that she was. Asuelu's mouth was really foul. I couldn't believe how much this little innocent man was cursing. I mean, all the masks, the phony masks, the acting like he's slow and, got to wear a helmet and he riding around, with barefooted on bicycles and all of that BS that he been doing. That stuff flew out the window when he got agitated. We got to see the real Asuelu, okay? We got to see the real Asuelu that's, saying MFs and SH and everything, okay? I'm trying to keep it clean out here tonight. But we really got to see Asuelu and the person he really is. And even Kalani was saying, I don't even know who this man is I'm sitting beside. I know damn well you didn't, because we didn't either. I mean, last week he was sitting up there looking like he was going into electric shock. Okay, he was fizzing and he was acting like he was, and then this week he is up on, he up there cussing, cussing like a sailor. Which Asuelu is it really? I mean, will a real Asuelu please stand up? So basically, they got the staff going back there, and Steve was like, why would she be jealous of Fernanda? And I just felt like, how can the pot be calling the kettle black up in this mofo? He did come out and say that he wishes that he had thought about what he said about Olga when he said that he owed her an apology. He said he was irritated with Asuelu because Asuelu has something to say, which I don't blame him. I would have been irritated with Asuelu as well. He said, he's oversensitive. And he is. And so, basically, they're all sitting there. So now they show Colt and Larissa what the staff was saying about them. And so, they're going back and forth. And we'll go further into this tomorrow when we do our live chat and allow you all to get everything off of your chest. Because this has been a rough season. I want to give you all an opportunity to really get this stuff off your chest. Because I got some things I want to get off of mine, too. And, I really do. And so we're going to come out here and we're going to do a live chat where we're going to talk all things the 90-Day Fiance. I know a lot of you all got to go to work in the morning. But, I mean, basically, I'm glad that this particular season is over. We'll talk about the end of the show later on. Tomorrow, we'll talk about, you go further into detail about it, because Eric basically said that Steven comes from a snowflake generation where, kids believe that, they're not grown until they're 30 years old, and that, basically Tasha has, he said you can vote, and that you have to, at 18 file up for, sign up for the selective services. And, basically Steven was like, but he need to get his life together. He really need to get his life together. He put this woman before his child, just like my mother did to me. And so I thought that Steven made a lot of sense this time about, about number one, wanting to make sure that he let everybody know that he wasn't really thinking when he was out there. He was reacting, he was in the moment, and he does owe Olga an apology. Even when Steven was sitting on the stage, he said, the things that Eric has done to Tasha, that he really, really, really would not have forgiven his father for that. And I feel the same exact way. I thought that Steven really stepped up and showed a lot of maturity in the way that he handled things, the way that he observed things, the way he kind of sat back, and just kind of, thought before he spoke tonight. I think that the things that went on with Colty and Larissa was a big distraction, and I'm hoping that tomorrow that the two of us will be able to come out and have an interview. I really was a little disappointed in the way that Larissa handle herself during this whole entire reunion. I think that she's, just a hot-headed Brazilian woman, and she really needs to get that together, or she just won't be here very long. And and then for Fernanda to sit in the car and make a comment and say she's here for the green card. Well, what were you here for? I couldn't understand it. Again, like I said, I give this tell all and the remaining portion of the show a B. I am absolutely glad that this particular season is over. I think that we all have had enough of it. And I don't ever want them to have another cast like this. TLC, I know that you're here. Thank you so much for this season. We've been doing this, I think, talking about 90 Day Fiance since July, and now you all are coming back and hitting us not in the summer, but now you're hitting us in the spring. So you're giving us a couple of months off. Thank you for that. But let me tell you, if you all saw the previews that Family Chantel, the mother pulled out a taser, and I can't wait to get into that season. But I think that all of us, all 738 people who are out here tonight, that we all need a break from this particular season. But you got one more day with your auntie. We are going to come out here tomorrow, and I will be opening up the lines. If you have never called in before, please be prepared to call in tomorrow, because I really want to talk to everybody. I want to get your opinion. The phone lines will be open. We'll be doing 3 minutes per person so that we can, get as many people in and out here, because I really want you all to prepare what you would like to say to the cast, what you would like to say to TLC, and what you would like to say to Sharp Entertainment. I think that it's important that we, the viewers, are all 700 and what is it now? It's 43. 743 of us. I think that we have a right to tell TLC what we would like to see differently, because this year was a hot ass mess. Even me, being attacked the way that I was attacked on with the doxing and all of that kind of stuff. And it just got really out of hand. So tomorrow I have time on my hand because of all of the snow, where I will be going through this season. I'll be putting up videos and spontaneously going live so that we can talk about the incident with Lita and Eric, because I really want to be clear and I want to be upfront, transparent, and open to you all about what I have actually been going through in the background. I have not completely told my story, and tomorrow I am prepared to still tell my story, wig and all. So thank you all so much for being here. Again, tomorrow, be looking for your auntie. I'm so excited to talk to you all, and I'm really excited about just wrapping this season up. So again, don't forget to think about what it is that you want to say to the cast members, what you want to say to TLC, and to Sharp Entertainment. Love you all to pieces, and have a wonderful month.